Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And in this episode we're going to start out a new questline. And generally, to outline my plans here, I would like to finally get to the situation where we have our core 5-man party set up, but we are missing one person for that. But the trouble is that the questline, in the process of which we get to recruit that last missing person, I would like to do in the nighttime, and here we have 6 in the morning, so basically the next nightfall we're going to do that for a couple of reasons. I would like to steal from a certain merchant that disappears later, and there's generally a couple of reasons I would like to do it during the night, just to take care of some other stuff along the way. So, in order to pass the time, we're going to start out another important questline, the one with the Harpers involved. And that's going to finally start out Jaheira's quests, which are quite lengthy. And also there's going to be an encounter coming up, which is on the verge already, I think, of being a little too easy. And the longer we wait, the easier it's going to be. And we wanted to pose at least a little bit of a challenge, I guess, when we do it. But first, let's talk to Ickert. And now that it's daytime, we can encounter him here and get his scroll case, and also I guess his throwing daggers we can buy. And yeah, now I think we're pretty good when it comes to scroll cases. Our situation is pretty nice, especially, we're going to be able to neatly organize everything once we get our second mage, which is that character I want. Anyway, let's talk to Rylock and engage in that mission that Czar over here gave us to investigate the inside of this Harper headquarters and find Montaron, who was apparently captured by the Harpers. So Rylock here is going to be pretty unwilling to even, tell us what this building is, but of course if we ask a little bit about it, pressure him a little bit, it's going to be like, keep your voice down. That's supposed to be a secret, that this is the Harper's headquarters. Jaheira, of course, also is going to have plenty of interjections here, and she's going to... Well, let's wait for when she actually tells us of something, of some of her concerns. So anyway, he wants us to perform a small task before he lets us in. And apparently there's a building in the docks, owned by the mage Prebek, and apparently vile experiments are being performed inside, and creating beasts which threaten the city. So we have to destroy them, deal with that threat, and then we will be allowed to investigate the inside of this Harper hold. Alright. So of course, as always, feel free to pause. I'm clicking through certain conversation options to give you the chance to read about some additional information that we can ask about and all that on your own. And I don't want to be clicking too quickly. And of course, Animet, as usual, providing the best interjection. He doesn't want to run any errands for the Harpers. So anyway, this is the house. This is Prebek's house, apparently. And I think Kirina is still invisible, but unfortunately this invisibility is going to go to waste. I don't think there's any encounter in the near future that I want to do, and that we would be able to use this invisibility for a nice juicy backstab. Here we're going to meet 2 mages that are going to have pre-buffs that are going to make them protected against backstabbing. So that's why it's kind of going to go to waste. Kirina is just going to fight normally, toe to toe. But anyway, I don't think we are going to cast anything. We might use this Jaheira's Bless. And that's going to be it. This encounter shouldn't prove to be too challenging. So here we meet Sanasha and Prebek, which are pretty surprised. But they will think that it is their master who is testing them by sending, our adventuring party here to test their abilities, I guess. Testing us again? Yes, you know that his cruelty knows no bounds. Why, just the other day he pulled 3 of my toenails for miscasting a cantrip. Yeah, so of course they're going to just attack us on sight. Yeah, and there are 3 goblins that are pretty inconsequential, although they do have poisoned arrows, and the 2 mages, Sanasha and Prebek, so we are going to allow them to get their pre-buffs, but I think when it comes to this encounter, the best approach to it is to just forego any like finesse, I guess, and just overcome them with our brute force, especially since we have 5 capable damage dealers. Jaheira is probably not so capable, I guess, but yeah, we have a lot of physical damage at our disposal, so I think I'm not going to be casting like any spells and stuff. We're just going to try to interrupt them and cut through their stone skins and protections and whatnot. But I am going to wait for their pre-buffs to trigger first. Just try to maybe spread out a little bit. Korgan might actually use his throwing axes, or maybe not. Let's have Jaheira approach Prebek, maybe. I'm trying to position my party so that they don't all like block each other, and they don't try to focus like 6 people on one of these mages. I think yeah, Kiranai is going to go into just standard dual wield melee. All right, so Prebek, okay, their protections already started triggering, so they have both of them I think have stone skin and minor globes. So we're going to probably attack 3 of them and 3. Also, Minsk, you have these arrows, so perhaps you'll be able to interrupt Prebek with your acid damage. And also, since Kiranai is now attacking Sanasha, I'm going to activate her detect traps so that perhaps we can get rid of these mirror images quicker by just dispelling them with detect illusion. Or we might just like cut through them quicker than that happens. So whatever happens first, I welcome it. Alright, so I think Prebek was interrupted by Senashira's electricity damage and also Minsk's acid damage. Hit him, but Sanasha cast Glitter Dust. Yeah, her illusions were dispelled, so now she has no mirror images active, and of course there are traps around. Actually, wow, we all saved versus spell, and no one actually, except Jaheira, was blinded by that Glitter Dust. So that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, Prebek is already down, and now just Sanasha without her mirror images is left, and without her stone skin. Okay, that was super easy. Let's actually use now some thrown daggers, so we don't have a big traffic jam. And yeah, let's just take care of these goblins. No one was poisoned so far by their arrows. Alright, so that went very, very well. Now we're going to be able to remove these traps, open the locks, and get some goodies. Sanasha and Prebek, they have some scrolls. I think there is really nothing, maybe this Cone of Cold that we haven't had before. Yeah, there are some arrows of binding that I could take, and I guess we have that ammo belt, so I will take them. Yeah, I'm not sure about that Cone of Cold. Senashira obviously didn't learn Cone of Cold yet, but I'm not sure if we have a scroll of that already. Perhaps not, and maybe that's new, which is going to be pretty cool. Another new thing. The third wand of magic missiles, they really love giving us them. But unfortunately in Baldur's Gate 2 they are not too useful. There's another invisible stalker scroll. And yeah, Warhammer +1. Unfortunately this Warhammer +1 I think is going to just be sold. Because I'm not going to use it in our offhand. And we're not really going to have another... Okay, this container is full again, so let's use Anoman's container. Because I don't think we're going to have another Warhammer user. You know, Anoman has 1 point in Warhammers, but he's going to use maces. Alright, so we dealt with that threat, Rylock. The Harpers are grateful and will now allow us to go inside. We get some experience. Yeah, Senashira is pretty suspicious. Apparently she is going to share her concerns a couple of times with us, that it all seems very weird for Harpers to basically have this headquarters and a couple of different things. There's going to be some amulets involved, and she's, I think, going to be pretty suspicious about that. So anyway, here in the Harper Hold, it's a pretty cool place, pretty chill. And there's a couple of people we can first talk to. So here's Maronia, and we can ask her a little bit about the Harper code, the Harper philosophy. Apparently they strive to maintain the balance. Both great evil and great good must be kept from getting out of hand. And this is like such nonsense in my opinion. I disagree wholeheartedly. Animan has an interjection as well. But yeah, a good king that expands his realm too far puts others at risk as surely as an evil king who terrorizes. And I disagree wholeheartedly. And this is kind of how the alignment true neutral works out. And I find that when it comes to true neutral, there are usually like two most popular stances when it comes to that alignment. First one is just someone that just kind of doesn't go out of the way to do good or do evil. You know, not an altruist, but also not an evil person, just kind of minds their own business and dedicates their life to some kind of, you know, goal that they want to achieve, some research that they want to pursue and whatnot. And then the other type of a true neutral character is this one, that apparently, you know, seems to think that the triumph of good would also be an undesirable outcome. And that just is very, very silly, in my opinion. And because even if a good king, like, I don't know, triumphs over evil and then becomes a tyrant himself, there is still going to be a time of prosperity in his kingdom, and then perhaps others are going to rise to dethrone him. And there's always a chance, of course, of good rulers that are just and kind and will rule their kingdom, you know, the right way. And like not overexpand and whatnot. Anyway, unfortunately, we do not have a conversation option that would just say, you know, I just don't agree with this nonsense that you just told me. So let's just go with a different option. So as well, as always, you know, feel free to like pause and read stuff for yourself. Yeah, but basically in the process of her conversation, we're going to get some clues. The first one is that they apparently wear some amulets that allow them to identify each other as Harpers. But apparently this is only a practice that they do in Athkatla, they do here. And she's also going to mention, yeah, again, Jaheira seems to think that this is really weird of Harpers, who value secrecy above all else, to have such a big structure, you know, in the middle of the city. And yeah, she mentions also guardians, these spectral harpists, who apparently guard the second floor, and they are only going to let only a Harper unharmed. And that is true, they would be hostile if we don't have a certain item. These amulets that she actually mentioned. So those are kind of the two clues that she mentioned. Also there's pace, and depending on like what we ask of him here, this conversation is always kind of be cut short because he would be willing to share a little bit too much information, and Berinvar here with his gaze, I guess, is going to let Pace know that he shouldn't be talking too much. So yeah, we can ask about his time with the Harpers. Yeah, apparently they can spin some schemes. Yeah, but yeah, Berinvar is giving me a rather nasty look. And we won't be able to have him say much else to us. And Berinvar is apparently a pretty knowledgeable fellow. We can actually ask him a little bit about the Shadow Thieves, that of course seek to manipulate us to their own ends, apparently, and in his opinion. Then when it comes to the Cowled Wizards, he apparently is aware of the abduction of John Irenicus and Imoen, but yeah, your friend is likely in grave danger. This man, Irenicus, is extremely powerful. The Cowled Wizards have likely bitten off far more than they can chew by taking him captive. Our sources say that the wizards are terrified of his power. Where your friend or this Irenicus might be, however, I do not know. So yeah, he also warns us about the second floor, about the guardians and whatnot. Alright, let's now explore this place a little bit. There's also a couple of different, quite a few exits from this building that lead us outside, but there's basically, I'm going to show all of them, but there's basically nothing else. We're going to end up here in a second. Nothing interesting to gain. They're going to lead us to the roof and some balconies and whatnot, but there's basically almost nothing to get in those areas. Yeah, this one is going to bring us one of these places on the roof here. Yeah, nothing here though. Anyway, what we want to explore is this series of rooms. There's going to be some traps to disarm, and we're going to get some potions and some minor goodies. Okay, that's it. Here's a Helm of Charm protection. Since Minsk is already protected against charm from Lilarkor, we're going to use that on Animan, I think, and Minsk can get this helmet. Oh wait, was there anything else? We have some... oh yeah, this is full. Yeah, finally our potion situation is becoming a lot better. I'm a little bit more calm when it comes to our healing needs in combat with this influx of potions that we've had in the last episode and in this one. Anyway, we also got this Harper amulet, and you don't actually have to be wearing it on your neck. It's just is enough that it is in our possession. So yeah, here are the spectral harpists, and they apparently recognize us as the Harpers because we have the amulet with us now. And again, I will just click through some of their, dialogue options. Apparently, one is just born as a Harper and then just recognized. And basically, the Harpers approach certain people who apparently help to, keep the balance and do good works. And they approach them and offer them, the membership. And generally they are of a pretty cool mindset. Here we can ask about the thief, and they are going to not be too direct, but they're going to say, which is something that is a clue, that apparently a thief that despoils Harper soil is forbidden from touching it again until penance given. They are above the soil, that they might see it and no loss. Yeah, there are some spectral guardians from the past, I guess, to keep this place safe. Alright, so there's not too much else that we can get to learn from them. Yeah, those who harp are never truly alone.
Yes, certainly.
So there's a lot of bookcases here, or these available like lootable containers, but they only just contain books and stuff. There's only a couple of them that contain something else. Here are some bolts of biting that we're going to be able to sell for a couple hundred gold. And I think here there's another couple of potions. Yeah, 5 more. Alright, cool.
What is it?
We can also hear some birds chirping. And here there's going to be another clue that is going to be useful for us. There's going to be this note. And just, of course, inventory management. Yeah, this. And the note, addressed to Berenvar, from someone. Do not concern yourself with the thief. If he has accomplices, they will show themselves soon. As for the thief himself, the spectral harpists will release him from his curse once they feel he has learned his lesson. And if he doesn't, well, we can always hope he acquires a taste for birdseed, eh? So yeah, from what the spectral harpists told us about, not being able to touch the soil,
Yes.
and from the birds chirping and that birdseed comment, we can kind of deduce that Montaron was likely turned into a bird. And we're going to check out the bird cage very soon. Let's just go upstairs here.
Yes,
And yeah, here there's like a little necklace to sell. And We can go downstairs here, and it's going to put us in the room that we were about to explore anyway. So all of these chests are locked, and also one of them is trapped. We can get some quite nice experience. Just, you know, especially if you play a smaller party, just from disarming traps and opening locks, you can get some nice experience in some cases. Oh, nice. Another new spell, protection from magic energy. I always forget that this, you know what, just switch those. Let's just switch those, oh yeah, we have this. Switch those scroll cases, so that Senashira has an empty one. Some minor goodies, so 40 arrows of acid are nice. Some darts +1. I guess someone can like hold on to them.
What is it?
Alright, now let's finally proceed to where we need to go. In this room over here. Where the birds are being kept.
I go.
Speed will be done.
Speak as I would have done.
Yes, certainly.
Alright, so we can get inside. Can get a little info about different plants and birds being kept here. And our cursor changes again. And apparently we can catch a small bird, which apparently just flies straight into our hands as if he wanted to be freed from this place. So now we have this bird that, you know, all information indicates that this should be Montaron.
Speak.
You point,
Yes,
I punch.
Block the door.
it will be done.
Yeah, so now we can go back to Zar and give him back Montaron, right?
Certainly.
And before we engage in this conversation to hand in this quest, I am going to position my guys in a certain way, and hopefully we can not let
My sword while you can,
a certain thing happen.
I won't be as gentle. Have you.
Speak.
Alright,
Quickly and precisely.
so yeah, we have found what happened to Montaron. He was turned into a bird, which I have with me here. Yeah, finally Montaron will be returned to my side. This is excellent news, especially since some fools broke into my laboratory and slaughtered all my creations. They killed both of my apprentices too, it seems. Bah, it will put my work behind interminably. How excruciatingly annoying. So, these Prebek and Sanasha and that whole room was Zar's laboratory. We can, you know, put 2 and 2 together here. And we basically killed his apprentices and put his, you know, work way back. And that's why I mentioned that unfinished business component that allows you to change the goblins into like some ghouls and ghasts, and I think one flesh golem, which makes the encounter a little bit tougher and makes more sense because Zar is a necromancer, and we've heard from Rylock that apparently he is creating some monsters, and you know, obviously a necromancer would probably be creating like ghouls and whatnot. Anyway, so first he's going to check if it is indeed Montaron, so he's going to polymorph this bird back into a human form. Monty must have something interesting to say. But what is this? What in the... You're not Montaron. Boom. He gets killed. By a poisoned blade, apparently. So of course she has a little verse here. And we can say, I knew it, the whole thing was a setup. And you were the pawn herein. You delivered the conjured poison to his very heart. That it was on my blade is but a point of semantics. I have no quarrel with you. We made the path difficult, but not unknowable, and in the end this fool did perish, as well he should. So what was his crime? Did you not think him strange? He was spying on the Harpers, an act that should make you question his alliances. Well, that doesn't make me question his alliances at all. That someone would spy on the Harpers. I actually... As you might have noticed, I really dislike the Harpers, and I might have mentioned that in BG1, but yeah, actually, this is very understandable for me. You may not have known what he was, but we did. A necromancer in the service of the Zentarim, alright, we know that from Baldur's Gate 1, creating abominations for sale to the highest bidder, far from their normal range, but not an unexpected enemy. He could not lay low with such a flamboyant manner, and we knew of him quickly. We merely helped in the inevitable, and so you are free. You served well, if unknowingly, and your agreement to help him is forgotten. The amulet is worthless. The blessed bear only Harper pins. Begone, and hopefully your next dealings with the Harpers will be more pleasant. So, of course, we don't like the way she talks to us, that we served well, and that we are now free to go. Oh, you let us go, huh, Lucette? Well, I'm not going to let you go after what you've done, because I kind of like Zar. And yeah, of course, Jaheira now realizes that the necklaces, the invitation, everything was like really weird, and we were just used. But anyway, she is kind of surrounded right now, and let's actually change you to your melee weaponry again.
Yes?
And before she gets away, hopefully we're going to be able to block her and kill her.
Death shall take you!
Oh no, don't let her get away! No, 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 no! We have to... Oh my god. We have to... We have to, dude. We can't see her health, but we really do have to kill her before she gets away, man.
I stand amongst the righteous.
What is it?
Come on.
Speak.
Maybe even a little wand? A little wand charge? No, no, no. I so wanted her to die, man. And she was very, very close. I think she was like one hit away. Oh. She's worth 4,000 experience, and she has some nice potions on her. It's not a big deal. It's mostly about the satisfaction of getting rid of her after what she has done to Zar. But, oh man, that is so unfortunate, man. I am mad. I am mad now. Ah. Lilarkor, you failed us, man.
Greetings.
Right, so now Meronia appears. That's why I was waiting here. And apparently she has something for Jaheira. Meronia, of course, was one of the Harpers that we've met in the Harper hold. But Jaheira, strangely, doesn't recognize her. Anyway, so apparently Jaheira is going to have some Harper obligations, and they want to speak to Jaheira in some kind of a secluded place away from our party. Yeah, so Jaheira is going to leave for a short time. And we of course get her scroll case automatically, so let's just give that to Minsk for now. And yeah, let's check out Zar's possessions. He has some scrolls and some minor goodies. I think he has like armor class 6 bracers. And just quickly sort this out. He also has this staff spear. Can't identify it, unfortunately.
I have had to drop what you gave me.
Yes?
I have only 2
Anyway,
hours.
and now that Jaheira is gone, we might still do a little thing in the Sea's Bounty,
This will
the
not
tavern. We were able to discover this secret passage earlier, and now that we don't have Jaheira, of course, you know, we could just always leave her outside or whatever, because I don't want to trigger this Baron Ployer quest of hers yet.
What is it?
And we're just going to go inside and check out what's behind this passage. What's behind this secret door. And do I want to... Do I have anything useful, Animan? Not really. Your spell selection is pretty bad. Let's just use this bark skin on Kiranai, I guess. We're going to rest soon. And maybe let's, like... Maybe, you know what? Maybe you should heal yourself. You have so many heals. I should have first healed him and then cast bark skin on Kiranai, but doesn't really matter all that much. Alright, let's check out what's on the other side. Pirate Captain apparently paid Thumb, so the Thumb again is involved in some secret business. But yeah, he paid for secrecy because apparently there's like a pirate hideout here and their secret stash, I guess, some pirate booty to plunder. Alright, so there's going to be plenty of them more in the back, so I think what we're going to do is maybe soften them up a little bit with a fireball.
Yes.
Oh, I'm still so disappointed with Lucette getting away, man. I just thought about it just now.
Every hamster
Oh, Lucette.
speak.
I really wanted to showcase that you can kill her before she gets away. Anyway, let's calm down. Let's focus on the task at hand. So let's just soften them up. They do have a mage in their ranks, and I think we're going to approach that mage soon. But basically the first order of business is to just focus all of our physical damage on that mage and just not let him do anything. Standard protections from him. He actually has a protection from normal missiles, so that's why I think the thrown daggers will work, but we can't really use like Minsk's arrows, for example. Well, we could use the +1 or +2 arrows, but we wouldn't be able to use like the acid arrows, for example, to interrupt his spell here with the acid damage, because protection from normal missiles protects him from that. Let's just spread out because there's an enchantment spell coming our way. Apparently chaos on Kiranai. Oh man, that's not good. That is not good. But we're going to have Anoman escape this way, so hopefully he doesn't get affected by it, and he can use his Dispel Magic to dispel the effects. Yeah, Senashira and Korgan got affected. Also, I could have used Korgan's Berserker Rage. I think he has one more left, and since we're going to rest anyway after this, there would be no loss in doing that. Oh yeah, Kiranai also got affected by that. Wow, and you see that Anoman got damaged a couple of times, but apparently he wasn't interrupted. Because of course they focus him, because they see that he's casting a spell, and they all want to interrupt him, and I think this is going to, yeah, work anyway. So very nice. This spell interruption mechanic, as I've said, you know, sometimes it's... Some spells seem to have a bigger tolerance when it comes to the interruption thing than some others. And let's focus on the mage again. Alright, cool. Now that he is dealt with... Alright, Kiranai is still under the effects of chaos because she ran away over there, but it doesn't matter. We have most of our party active. And we just want to, like, stop them from throwing their daggers and force them into melee where they are less dangerous. And we'll provide some speedy assistance to Anoman.
Yes, quickly and precisely.
Alright, we're in the clear now. We're going to be able to just wait out Kiranai's chaos, and just in the meantime, you know, stand away from her as far away as possible, so she doesn't get any stupid ideas, and actually it's already over. So we can just quickly loot a lot of their throwing daggers, which are going to be cool. And here's their stash, I guess, their pirate booty. Another longsword +1. And yeah, there's 1,000 gold, 2 pearls, and a pearl necklace, so a little bit of money to be gained from this, a little bit of experience from killing these pirates, and that's pretty much it. So a cool little fight that I also didn't want to delay for much longer, because it would be just a pushover, so since now it's still, you know, it was a little challenging, especially with that mage casting chaos. It was nice to do it now. I'm just going to do a quick visit to Joaquin's Promenade. And ideally I would wait for a higher reputation, because we are already heroic at 17, so we already are getting some discounts, and we have 19 charisma. And of course the optimal way would be to wait to 20 reputation and to 20 charisma to make some purchases. But I'm just going to make, just buy one little thing and one slightly bigger purchase, I think, while we're here. Because I want this Knave's Robe for Senashira. This is going to be slightly better for her, because she is a melee combatant, of course, so this armor class +1 versus slashing attacks is going to be a little bit more useful for her. And also the save versus death is one of the weakest mage saves, so having a little boost here is going to be nice for her. And that's in general for, like, Senashira, that's my favorite type of robe, the Knave's Robe. So we can get that very cheaply, and I think while we're here, might as well just get this Girdle of Hill Giant Strength. I think that's going to be very nice for Jaheira, providing her with that 19 strength, and that's going to make a very capable damage dealer out of her. So of course this girdle would be even cheaper if we had slightly higher reputation and slightly higher charisma, but you know, just the timing of everything doesn't really matter all that much, because I'm going to get a certain charisma increasing item very soon, and we're going to get some reputation soon, but for now this is okay. And Jaheira is going to be with us soon. That's why we're going to rest now, both to pass the time
Quickly and precisely.
awaiting Jaheira's arrival, I guess,
Without hesitation.
and also to pass the time so that we can get closer to nighttime, so that after we're done with the Harper questline, we can do Mavar's Guild questline. And Welther apparently is still here, so he just shows up during the night, I guess, and then just stays forever. And so we're going to be able to steal from him whenever we want. Anyway, I think one thing also to say about the Knave's robe is that, as you can see, these robes have their own set colors that they kind of impose on your character. Like, you know, the Traveler's robe has this like orange and gray colors, and the Knave's robe has these like yellow goldish colors. I'm just going to, in between episodes, remove these colors from the Knave's robe. We're going to be using it for a long time, and I just want Senashira's colors to be displayed instead of this robe's like forced colors. So this is just going to be a very slight appearance change. And I think in the next episode we're going to rest and greet Jaheira back and basically conclude this whole like Harper storyline for now. We're also, I think, going to do a scribing session before resting. But yeah, this is, I think, all material for the next episode. So thank you for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.